So welcome. My name is Nicole Kittredge. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. And I'm so thrilled to have Jen Mallett of Level Up Automation. I have her flyer here, which if you don't talk about the smart home playbook or your financing available, I'll remind you at the end. But she has so many exciting things to discuss today. So Jen, I will let you maybe share your screen and take it away.
You got it. Thank you, Nicole. And thank you for inviting me to this webinar to be able to share a bit about smart energy within the smart home and what does that mean and how to take a concept that sounds like something everybody should be doing and make it something that you understand and feel less overwhelmed about. Perfect. So I will go ahead and share my screen here.
That seems to be the word of the day when it comes to technology. People feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. There's just so many different brands and pieces of technology, and it's a lot. So my goal here is to simplify it for you and also understand some of the goals. And I'd like to say, just feel free to ask questions as well. Can everybody see my screen? It's a home?
Yes.
Excellent. So welcome to what I'm going to call here energy beyond the smart thermostat. So most people understand that, a smart home can incorporate a lot of different things. And essentially what it means is that you're leveraging technology in different systems of your home to help automate it and make your life easier. Now, when it's well designed and the technology is working good, your life is easier. But as we all know, when technology doesn't work well, it can be sometimes a hassle, right? So it's all about in the design and what you have within your home. Within the energy portion of your home, most of the adoption around managing energy in a home really has been around smart thermostats. How many of you have smart thermostats? No smart thermostat.
I have like 10 electric thermostats that I don't use because I primarily use a Rinnai propane heating system.
Okay, great. And Kathy and Nicole, no smart thermostat yet?
I put in the comments, we used to have a Nest, but it interfered, whatever the heating system we have, it caused issues. So we don't have that here.
Incompatibility issue. Got it. The smart thermostat is typically the easiest place for people to start to understand how do you start to manage your energy and drive towards something called energy independence, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Mostly, as we look at smart homes in terms of Level Up Automation, we say we create smart homes and intelligent buildings. And through automation control, what we're going to talk about today is really energy efficiency. So a smart home helps it be safe, entertaining, energy efficient, and healthy. And in terms of energy efficiency, I want to share with you, before we get into some of the goals around smart home energy efficiency, a statistic from a company called Parks Associates, which is really the leading smart home technology research firm based out of Texas. And they've been providing research on smart homes since the 80s, believe it or not, when they were like big, giant computers. And they have a great kind of view here. They study a lot about energy, where's it going, what people think about it, what existing homeowners think about it. And you can see here that, about half the people are in this category where they'd like to use less energy, but they don't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. They would like to use less energy, but they don't invest much time into it because they're too busy to figure it out. And there's a lot of marketing and information coming from utilities on rebate programs and all sorts of different things. But what does that mean within the context of I'm a busy person, busy professional, maybe with a family, other things going on. I don't have the time to be able to figure it out. I need somebody to figure out for me. And then there's a portion of the world that says, costs aren't really high enough for me to make me worry about it. I would say that that probably for this winter will become a smaller portion of this pie as energy costs are rising so much. And then the other half of this slide, I actively work to reduce energy consumption at home. What does that mean? For most people, that means they have a smart thermostat. and they probably pay attention to some of their systems like lights. So, you know, maybe they don't let their kids leave the lights on rather in the living room all night. But actively reducing your energy consumption really does take some design and effort to it. But if you start to understand what your goals are, which we'll go over in a minute, it's easier to not feel overwhelmed about how to do it. So within the context of your home, you know, we talked about smart thermostats. It's one of the easiest places to start, right? And most states have excellent rebate programs, which pretty much make them free. $125 rebate on a $200 smart thermostat is a very good offer. And in the most cases, you can make up that money in the energy savings within that year. So most people save between $50 and $100 within their first year. But beyond really the smart thermostat, when you're looking at energy consumption, the other systems you have are lighting systems, power and energy systems, which we'll talk about, pool and spa irrigation systems. Those are energy hogs within a house. So how do you proactively manage your energy throughput through those systems? Shades and blinds, something that people don't often think of. Like, what does that have to do with energy conservation for my house and energy efficiency? Well, shades really impact the temperature within your home. How cool is it? How warm is it? That is really critical, especially when you're looking at some older homes that maybe they don't have the insulation that a newer home would have. You know, keeping blinds closed can help keep that heat in, or help keep that cool in, or heat out. And, you know, even without using blinds that are particularly geared towards solar. So there are certain shades, for example, that are very thick, that'll really kind of create a lot of energy efficiency. Even ones that have a lot of transparency to them do in fact start to knock down some of that need for energy usage in your house. So shades is one of those things that people don't think about. But if you have shades in your house, whether they're manual or automated, let's say it gets to be a certain temperature in your house and you want to close all your shades automatically because it's 90 out. You know, what you can do is have those shades close when it hits a certain temperature outside, or it's predicted to hit a certain temperature, so that you can keep more of that cool air in. So that's an example. Smart appliances, so smart stoves, dishwashers, just about everything is labeled smart now. And most appliances that you're going to buy new will have some sort of Wi-Fi connection. And that's in place primarily because manufacturers want to be able to look at the diagnostics that are happening, be able to service them. And certainly there's some convenience to us as consumers. Like, for example, you can preheat your oven on the way home for your son and his chicken nuggets that needs 400 degrees. That's an example. But really, when we look at energy independence and smart appliances, we're going to talk a little bit about monitoring and when to use your appliances at the right time of day, so that you're going to be able to keep more money in your pocket. And then solar and wind, and that's mostly what people think about when they think about energy and smart homes. They think about thermostats and they think about solar, which for a number of people like is out there. You know, you're looking at $20,000-$30,000 investment typically for solar, and you know, that's still an emerging market. My point here is that I want to say, with what we show you, you do not need solar in order to gain levels of energy independence. You know, for most people, that's still a ways out, and some people don't want it, but you can still utilize technology to gain energy efficiencies in the home. So as we look at, you know, what the goals are within a smart home, they're specific to energy. The first is really understanding where your energy is going, and you're correlating money. And in order to do that, you've got to be able to monitor what's happening so that you can honestly develop knowledge of what's happening within your home. Does anyone on this call have a good understanding of when they see their energy bill, what they're spending it on?
I mean,
Um,
we notice trends.
we have a hot tub and I'm home all the time. So when we get our monthly statement and it shows you and everybody else,
Mhm.
we call it the monthly shaming. Because we are always, because we have a and I'm home all the time, we are way more than all of our nearby neighbors. So
Energy shaming. Wow. Yeah.
Kathy, I have to say I'm lucky. I'm one of the ones that's at the bottom, like you. I'm way down here. Because I refuse to like rehook up my hot tub, given the fact that they're saying the electric bills are gonna be 60% more. But I also have 12 solar panels, and that really helps a lot. I have no electric bill other than the lease payment of $30 a month for a good 6 months out of the year. And I took 2 more trees down, so it has been extended even more. And just being me, even though I work from home, I face south, so I get that solar energy that comes in, so I don't even turn lights on until the sun goes down.
There you go.
But the pool's going to kill me next year, so I'm going to
Pool's
enjoy
gonna
it now while I can.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys have an idea, which is really great. And, for some people, a lot of people actually, they actually just don't know where it's going. Maybe they don't have like what is a traditional big kind of energy spender. The second thing is the second level really is controlling your energy spend within your personal budget. And this is important because some families and homeowners, they spend energy and they don't think about the energy, and that's okay. And there's other people who really want to certainly understand how they can lower their energy bill. So there's a few things in pieces of terminology that you probably recognize from your bill. One is time of use management. And what that means is, are you using your appliances and all the things that are being controlled in your house? Are you using it during a high peak time of day where energy is expensive? Or are you using it during a low peak time of day? So what technology can do and smart homes can do can help let you know when is your peak time, and then when do you utilize certain appliances like stoves and other things when your time of use is at a place where it isn't peak demand. So you're not paying the most out of your pocket for utilizing that energy. The other is demand charge management. So really kind of, and very similar to time of use, like understanding when the grid has got the most demand on it, that's when the energy is the most expensive. And when you're in a position like Donna, where you have solar, one of the benefits of having solar is that you can sell back energy to the grid during those peak demand times. And so the capability to be able to do that exists, especially when you have something like solar or home batteries, which we'll talk about in a minute. Scheduling, appliances and scenes and all other things that within your home. One of the great things you can do within, how you want to take all the different systems within your home is figuring out, okay, most people work on a routine, right? So, in terms of scheduling, your house is kind of in a good night mode. Let's say it's 10 o'clock at night, right? Well, how do you do that in a way when you've got multiple people living in the house and you've got kind of multiple systems going? Well, simply scheduling or creating an energy automation scene, like on the right, you can see on this app, there's an eco mode. Designing that and just setting it to work every day is one way to just absolutely take that off your hands. The other thing I'll mention about something like an eco mode scene is if you've got somebody who's traveling a lot, not home, right? You're being able to put the house in an eco mode where your temperature is at a certain level, so you don't have to worry about frozen pipes. And then all the other systems are also working to support it in a way where there isn't a high demand for energy within a home that is currently vacant, right? So eco modes are really, really great. And then the last real goal is really to create energy independence for those that want it. So that's within the homeowner's goals. Not everyone wants it. To not waste energy and to be smart about how to spend energy, you first need to understand your energy, be able to control your energy. And I'll share a bit some of the technology about that in just a minute. The second is really to support home systems when the grid is down. So when you are in an energy independent place and you're utilizing technology to support that, that means when the power's out, and if you don't have a generator or you don't have home batteries, you know, you're kind of, there's not much you can do, right? But if you have, as part of your smart energy plan, you have home batteries that is storing all of that energy that you've collected during off-peak time. So it's cheap for you, or you got it from your solar, so it came from the sun, and utilizing that battery to support the key systems that you need, lights, refrigerators, things that are kind of critical loads when the grid is down. That is also part of kind of energy independence. And then lastly, and this is kind of certainly like that next level goal, which is really getting off grid. Not everybody wants that, but that capability is here. And we do have clients that are off grid, you know, have very low energy costs, like Donna shared, and have the capability to really be almost their own microgrid within their home. So within those three goals, learn and monitor, right? Control it, and then create energy independence that's right for you. So when we look at learn and monitor, I'm going to share with you my screen. I am still here. So this is a live view of my home. This is something called the Emporia Energy Monitor. We have this both in residences as well as in businesses. And, you know, what it provides you is truly like a live view of all the different circuits within your home. So, for example, you know, we can take a look at, this is a live view of, this is 12:15, 12:16, 12:07, you know, you can see it by second, like this is the load that is running through my house right now. I can tell that my usage this month so far is at $70, and I can tell right now the rate for Shrewsbury, the town I'm in, is at 0.21, right? And that will fluctuate and depend upon, you know, based on what the cost of energy is for that particular minute. So that in itself is helpful, right? But really what you can see here is that a smart home energy management system goes right into your electrical panel, just clicks right in there. And each of the monitors goes right on those circuits. And you're able to see, you know, at an hourly level, a day level, a month and a year level, exactly how much money you have spent by device. So I'm going to show, for example, this is a bit of an energy hog. You know, I can tell within 2 seconds, so far this year, I've spent $45 on our little basement humidifier that runs. Now that in itself, you know, is good to know, but you can see that, you know, through managing it and understanding that that is in fact an energy hog, you can see that we've been able to minimize our cost year on year from 2021 to 2022. And so that's why monitoring is the first goal, because it's the education and the power of understanding where everything's going, where the money is going, where the energy is going, in order for you to be able to just manage it yourself. One of the things we also like about this, and by the way, this unit is $156. So very, very inexpensive. Yeah, no, this is inexpensive. And look at the power it gives you. And you can name each of your circuits, whatever they are. I mean, we were very interested in understanding, okay, like our Keurig, how much we leave that plugged in all the time. It's called what they call like a vampire load. So what is that doing? Right. And so we can see that on an annual basis, this is how much we're spending just to provide electrical to our Keurig. We've done a poor job managing it this year is what I see here. One of the great things you can do when you go into management, you here's some of the things I talked about: time of use management, peak demand management, excess solar management. So when you look at time of use management, you know, one of the things we can do, here's some of the devices that we have on here. We've got water filter, fireplace, fountain, lamps, and then we've got Sparky Juice, which happens to be our electric vehicle, which is also monitored through this. So, you know, what you can do within here, I'll just look at the water filter, see the add schedule. It doesn't need to be cooling all the water 24 hours a day, right? Especially at night, unless the kids are getting up really late. And if they are, then they don't deserve cold water maybe. But you can add a schedule here so that it's only receiving power when you need it, when it's up. So this is, I think, a very powerful thing, a way to kind of take control through knowledge. You can utilize and look at wattage. You can look at, I like to look at it in dollars. You can have multiple homes within this as well. So you can have one energy monitor in one home and another energy monitor in your office and another somewhere else. So pretty powerful system and good bang for your buck. So that is kind of like learning and monitoring. The second stage really is the control piece of it. And so advanced smart energy systems take it one step further than what you just saw. And they actually provide control, so on-off control at the circuit level. And that's really powerful because you can imagine you can be sitting in bed and you can turn off anything in your house. It doesn't have to be connected to Wi-Fi, doesn't have to be, it just needs to be a device that is powered, right? And so that in itself, when you're able to control loads at your electrical panel, which, you know, right now most electrical panels don't have that, but your existing electrical panel can become smart just by adding these sensors on it that are able to control. So a little bit more advanced than the technology that we just saw, but really it's able to tell you again here, like look at the pool. You can see the wattage that's coming through for the pool, hot tub, what is it? What time of day is it most expensive? And then take a look at your time of use management, right? And say, okay, you know, for us, we're not going to be heating it during certain hours of the day because it's really expensive. We're going to do it during off-peak hours, for example. That's one way where you can start to really kind of control the energy you have. The last goal we had really is around energy independence. And this seems very futuristic, but it's actually really here. And I like this graphic because what it does is it shows you, look, you have energy coming through the grid. Everybody has that. Some people have a battery, a home battery, which is a new technology. Some people have a generator. Some people have solar that feeds into a battery or an inverter. So we're all used to paying for energy through the grid. It is essentially, feels like a monopoly. It kind of is, right? It's whoever you have, that's how you get, and you pay what you got to pay. A lot of people are in a place where they are not feeling like they're in control of their energy costs. If you add a home battery, which essentially, you know, takes the energy that is coming into your home. So when we look at time of use management, for example, if you have a home storage battery that collects your energy and holds it for you for when you need it, you're able to take your battery and charge it from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. when it's not expensive, right? And then when it's expensive, right, to use energy, when everybody gets home from work and they're making dinner from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., you know what? Instead of using the grid, you're going to offload your battery because you got that much cheaper. And you're going to be firing up your stove with your battery energy, not using the grid. And, you know, similar to like generators are great, but batteries in many ways are taking over generators because not just because they don't need gas, but because they're smart and you can utilize them in ways that work with different things. So for an example, we just had a huge hurricane come through Florida, right? Hurricane Ian. A lot of people lost power for a lot of times. lot of time. Some days, weeks, some still don't have power. Smart energy management systems like this that just have those devices on a panel and a battery, they're actually able to forecast storms coming in through being connected to the internet and weather, predictively understand that you may have a power outage, and they will proactively fill up your battery in anticipation of having a power outage. And then a step further, you're able to really design and say, these are our critical loads when there is an outage. When you do that with a generator, you're stuck with whatever you told the electrician. Not anymore. With smart energy systems, you are able as the homeowner to be like, nope, I'm going to prioritize my my dishwasher, my laundry, and fridge, things you really need, instead of the living room TV, or whatever the case may be. So all of that becomes dynamic and in your control. So that was like a lot to take in, but that is, essentially a technology that's here today. And it really all starts with the electrical panel and taking a critical point, a critical system in the house, like electricity, which hasn't changed in like 50 years, and applying technology to better use it, and also put control on the homeowner side to be able to decide when and what they spend energy on and how much they spend it on.
That was amazing. I
Yeah.
learned so much. The
Yes.
home battery makes so much sense.
You
Do
guys
agree?
sell home batteries?
What's that?
You guys sell home batteries? Okay.
Yep,
And
stack 'em.
the picture where it showed the appliances and the cost,
Mhm.
that I tried to take a screenshot, but the one I got, I don't know if it had the dollar amounts. I was just thinking of making a post or something, because this
Yeah,
is
sure.
The Emporia software.
Oh, the Emporia. That is actually like, this is a live view of my house right now.
Yeah, that's interesting to be able to see,
Yeah.
So I don't really understand how this all works, but I know there's the big gray box in the basement, right? And then
Mhm.
upstairs, this is like, I'm talking like a first grader, because that's the way I understand it. But
Yep.
so there's the big gray box in the basement, and there's the plugs that we have up here. So is it like, my understanding is like maybe like this side of the kitchen is on one circuit. So how do you tell, like, if the stove and the fridge are on one circuit and they have different plugs, how do you tell what the stove and the fridge is?
Typically, the appliances will have like a label at the electrical box that's dedicated to them. They'll have their own circuit.
So okay, something that's
But so in this case, it's really about like how you label it. So we've got, for example, here, a bank of outlets, which is kitchen outlets.
fridge might-
We've got 2 ovens. It's just a stackable oven, right? But because of the way it is, wired, they each need their own dedicated circuit. I can tell how much energy we've spent on oven 1 versus oven 2. So oven 2 also doubles as our microwave. It's like a microwave oven combo. So it's really, you're in control of like what this is labeled as, which is really neat. It does not take very long to install. So my electrician, it took him a half hour, and I just sat there with him and I was like, I want to call it this, I want to call it that. And then you hand over the app and you've got the capability to be able to monitor it.
Yeah. This is awesome. Yeah, I'd love to
Fantastic.
somehow
Awesome.
share this share a post
Mhm.
or something on by myself, be able to share it and then get people to see this.
Yeah.
It just takes some lead time
We've
to
known you for a while, Jen, and I didn't realize the home battery. I didn't realize how simple that is.
Oh,
it was
it's like,
hard it was like, I was like, oh, well, it's hard to conceptualize all the use cases, right? So I was like, okay, so we could turn off some lights.
right. Yeah.
things were. And so this gives a broader idea of just like beyond like, oh, you can put a TV in your shower is I knew one of the
Yeah.
things.
You have so much
We
fancy
do
stuff.
that
I think
too.
we get
What's
hung
that?
up on the fancy stuff. But
Right,
this is fancy. I mean, I love the off-grid stuff, and I have folks in Florida that didn't have power for many days and they're considering a generator. I'm going to send them this video and say, you have to watch this. And she has a showroom in Tampa.
Yes.
Tampa,
Yep.
right? Yeah, they're near
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay,
and-
across the state, but my dad travels there all the time.
Yeah, and Tampa, they have this unit there. Tampa will have a showroom
Okay.
next spring. And yeah, it's a very, this is inexpensive device, and great company out of Colorado. And you can even look at like your energy usage as trees. So like how many trees could I save? Like it's very kind of creative how they've looked at it. I think most people care about wattage and money, but the app, which is the companion to this web portal, looks just the same. Very easy to use, very easy to navigate. It even has like partnered kind of smart plugs with it as well that you can turn things on and off. So I'm glad to hear that you guys appreciate and like this. I've had this for a couple years, and everyone we've put in, people have been very happy about.
Love it. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been paying higher energy because I liked buying green. I liked the fact that I was getting it from a green company. But I had to change this year because of the predicted cost.
Really?